Hi, I'm Phil, and welcome back to Actuality of Being. The point of today's video is to help with understanding what are commonly referred to as negative feelings, like anxiety, depression, fear, unworthiness, insecurity, and powerlessness. The principles which apply to this topic are that you forgot who you really are by being this, and that though you forgot, you are always feeling and experiencing in accordance with who you really are. And as such, you are never without the guidance of our infinite being, and that we are creating our own reality. The reason that I decided to start making these videos is to help you self-realize, to remember who you really are or your true nature. If you haven't, it would be ideal to watch the previous video entitled Actuality of Being, as today's information expands upon what was covered in that video and dives deeper into understanding this actuality. I think you'll get a few insights either way, but in watching both, I think some realizations will more deeply click into place. I will be using a tool which is available on my website, actualityofbeing.com, called the Emotional Scale by Abraham Hicks. I'll essentially be walking through the scale from the bottom to the top, and ultimately, I hope it is helpful in seeing emotion as not something to suppress or avoid, but something to feel, understand, express, and enjoy. The source of all emotion is love, and as love is the truth, by expressing sincerely, the truth does indeed set us free. I'm wearing this electric heating hoodie, by the way, as a visual aid to help communicate how understanding, knowing, and expressing the goodness and awesomeness that you truly are feels. Understanding how you are creating emotions and feeling the presence of your being is very much like having your own little bubble of warmth, and I suggest giving both a try. Though infinite being is all things and there is nowhere it is not, because infinite is infinite, you might say it veils itself precisely by appearing as experience. When we self-realize, we are essentially going backwards, questioning, inspecting, retracing this experience and the emotions we feel back to their source. Along the way, on the path, one feels and experiences the full range of emotions and therefore comes to understand who they really are via direct experience. When one avoids or suppresses feeling, one stops one's own self-realization. Expression is the key, and in this backwardness, emotion can get very counterintuitive. For example, if one avoids sadness rather than feeling and expressing it, one will not then feel the vibration of sorrow, which is prior to sadness, and one will not truly realize and feel the bliss of the unconditional love they actually are. You might think of this as the sorrow of forgetting, and in going backwards, experienced as the profound joy of remembering, and it is viscerally experienced, though the word experience doesn't really apply anymore at this point. You might think of experience or appearance as being the light or image on a wall, and the image on the wall going backwards into the flashlight to know the true nature of itself and of experience or of the image on the wall. When one allows, feels, and expresses the full range of emotions, one comes to know the truth of oneself, and in terms of experience and appearance, one knows and feels the source of all, and feels and is guided by their inner being, and understands how this experience came to be and why emotion and all things are the way they are. One realizes it is because infinite being is perfection, and that things could be no other way. So today I want to talk about emotions, and I hope it's helpful with the often counterintuitive, backwards nature of this experience of the path and of self-realization. Again, the key is expression. Through expression of the emotions you are experiencing, your being is shining through, like the light from the flashlight, and the two worlds, so to speak, of the flashlight and the image are inevitably realized to be one. Until this recognition occurs, however, there seems to be duality or two-ness, like bad and good thoughts and bad and good or positive and negative feelings. It will inevitably be realized that all two-ness is indeed you-ness. Expression is direct experience, and we truly understand not through words, teachings, or teachers, or thoughts, but by direct experience. Expression illuminates misunderstanding and releases emotional discord, and understanding and the goodness of feeling. The true nature naturally arises from and as the source, which is infinite intelligence, absolute light, and unconditional love. Everything that I'll be saying here today is only a pointing. You must take this pointing and directly experience by expressing. There are some suggestions under the tools section of my website to help you get started. You will come to understand a great many things. Specifically, you'll have clarity of the relationship between emotional suppression, misunderstanding, misidentification, and the harmful and often heinous things we unfortunately sometimes do, experience, and see going on in our world. You'll experience great emotional releases, tremendous relief, clarity, and understanding from your expressing as you go. And I hope you'll use what you realize to help others to do the same, as it is my understanding that only our self-understanding, which is to say, only love in terms of direct experience, will do. It would be most ideal to get the most out of this video for you to go to actualityofbeing.com, click on tools, and bring up the emotional scale so you can see it while I give examples of expressing each emotion. This way you'll have a better understanding of it and more clarity around it when you come back to it. It also serves as a helpful reference point you can share with others when they inevitably ask you why you're feeling so amazing and why everything just seems to be working out so well for you. So the fundamental misunderstanding of these negative feelings, though it is very subtle and usually glossed over in our thinking, is identifying, as in my insecurities, my fear, my anxiety, my depression, my powerlessness, or my unworthiness. These emotions are not something you are, nor are they something you have. They are something you're experiencing and creating. You are experiencing the emotions that you are creating, and you can understand how you are, and you can create emotions which are empowering for you, and you can encourage and help others from this place as well. We'll use insecurity for this example, but please take note, you could pop in any one of the emotions mentioned. First, acknowledge for your well-being that insecurity is the experience of feeling certain thoughts about yourself. Acknowledge to yourself that these thoughts arise now and not in a past, and that these thoughts do not feel good to you now. Though the content of the arising thoughts might be about a past or future, it is important to notice that the thought is occurring now and does not feel good now. An analogy for this is a book. The content is the words on the pages, and it is easy to get lost or swept away in the content, but you can always close the book and see that it is a book, which is to say that thoughts are just thoughts, a narrating of a story. And you can step out of the content of thoughts, the narrating, by being mindful that they are thoughts. You can inspect the narrative by looking for or trying to find the actuality of the story. For example, try to find the you which has anything which is separate and even which is surviving. In the literal sense, attempt to locate the you, try to point to it. Notice insecurity is a thought about yourself which doesn't resonate or feel good, because it isn't true. If you go into the content of the thought, you'll likely move from one thought to another thought to another thought, and this can literally go on forever. Again, it's important to recognize it is not the content but the thought which does not feel good. You might want to pause the video and take a few minutes to reflect on this and allow it to sink in, as this is a very important and key realization. Now shift the focus, the orientation of the thinking, from inward or about you to outward about what you want to create and experience. Feel the slight relief in this inward to outward shifting of focus. Recognize the good feeling of relief as you do, and feel for and notice this relief as you express each emotion going up the scale. Keep in mind, though this could be a radical change of perspective for you, that everything you want for how you'll feel. To believe you need anything to feel good will not resonate, because it is not true. To suppress your desire for what you want to create and experience also will not feel good, because it is not true either. You created this place and you came here to create an experience. The next emotion on the scale is jealousy, and it is often thought to be a negative feeling and is most often not explored. I'm suggesting jealousy is not bad or good, but is intrinsically a part of experience, in that you are creating and co-creating. To move from insecurity, fear, guilt, shame, or unworthiness to jealousy, name specific things that other people have, do, create, and experience that you want to have, do, create, and experience. Write these things down as a way to begin expressing. Your expressing of emotions, of how you feel, is the key in shifting your vibration, or most simply put, of how you feel. It is often said the mind cannot serve two masters, and by expressing, you are aligning the mind with the heart, with its actual source of love. Express how this jealousy often leaves you feeling angry, hateful, and resenting. Express that this does sometimes lead to rage or outbursts, and even notions of revenge for those of your past, or even the world by and large. Expression is healing. To express and feel these emotions fully is to no longer avoid them. By avoiding them, we are held captive by them. We all feel and we all experience a range of emotions, and again, willingly expressing them, letting them out, rather than holding them and suppressing and suffering is really the key. Express how in feeling this way and feeling anger or resentment, you often feel discouraged about creating and experiencing what you desire to. Really recognize that you are not alone in this regard. Though it might sound counterintuitive at first, proceed now by expressing blame. You got into this place, this experience, just like the rest of us, so to speak. Unconditional love doesn't pick parents or siblings or families or communities, because unconditional love is the given. The fundamental, most simple and obvious common sense, or that which is feeling the resonance, the alignment or discord of the thoughts and of the beliefs or conditions about yourself. Express ways in which this anger and blame do sometimes leave you worrying about whether you'll live to experience and create the life you desire to live and do the things you want to do. Express how this worrying leaves you experiencing and feeling doubt about yourself and about what is possible for you to experience. Express from the heart sincerely that this often leads to disappointment, and that the momentum or the repetition of this leaves you feeling overwhelming. Express that this does lead to creating the emotions and sensations of frustration, irritation, and impatience. Be most mindful not to shift back to an inward orientation. That is, recognize that the frustration, irritation, and impatience you feel is the very resistance of the thoughts about yourself which are not true. If you think I'm unworthy or I lack confidence, you will feel the offness, the discord of these thoughts or beliefs, because you are not lacking anything at all, and you are worthy and deserving of the very infinite abundance of all things that you quite literally are. The more you express, the more you realize this truth. Let such thoughts and beliefs which do not feel good to you go, simply and only for the sake of caring more about how you feel than being right, correct, accurate, and you will find it is incredibly easier, even effortless, to change the things in your life that you desire to change. Express that this old way of thinking about yourself, of essentially putting what you know is true or being right above feeling good, leads to pessimistic thoughts about what you can change, create, and experience. Expressed honestly and sincerely that oddly, though you have more than ample energy and more than ample desires, that you often experience the emotion of boredom and didn't understand why or how this makes any sense. As you express, as you feel the little bit of relief and expressing each emotion on the scale, feel the freeing of conditions and beliefs about yourself as blockages releasing. Feel the relief in expressing and therefore letting go of the false beliefs about yourself. Now express contentment by being fully present or where you are. Focus on seeing what is around you. Notice the shapes, the colors, and the different sizes of things, the different textures of everything. See something as simple as your fingers wiggling and see the spontaneity, the pure, inexplicable, ineffable freedom. Focus on hearing what is around you. Hear big open sounds like the sound of the room or the outdoors. Hear the tiniest of sounds as well, like the furnace or air conditioner humming and blowing in the background. Hear the birds, carefree, flapping and chirping. Feel the breath. Take a deep breath counting to 4, and then let it out slowly counting to 8. Feel the sensation of the breath and take comfort in the recognition that there is voluntary breathing and involuntary breathing. Choose to consciously, voluntarily breathe from your stomach. Breathe deeply in your stomach and allow the body's natural response of relaxation. Take comfort in it and in knowing you can always do this. Take comfort in the mystical nature of experience, in that when you are not consciously breathing, the source within you is doing it for you. Recognize as deeply as you can that essentially it's got you or it's got your back. It's loving you and looking out for you more than you know, and truly more than we could ever imagine. Be open-minded and open-hearted to this presence. Feel all there is to feel in this one moment now. Feel the sensation of the air on your skin, feel your heartbeat, feel the presence of sensation from the bottoms of your feet to the top of your head. Feel the nuance of sensation by feeling directly into the body and noticing sensation is fuzzy and has no discernible edges and no beginning and no end. In feeling, notice that sensation is not a thing and is not an object. Feel the sensation of this formless presence. Feel the actuality that sensation is inseparable from you. Feel the certainty and security of sensation, that unconditional feeling is always present and there for you, lending the guidance of infinite intelligence through feeling. All there is for you to do to receive it is to be honest, sincere, and forthright with yourself about how you are feeling, and to let any thought which doesn't feel good to you go. Abide in this guidance of sensation. This is the energy, the electricity, the power and source of all your desires and of all experience which your focus on your desires brings into existence. Notice feelings such as desire is not delivered to you in any way. You cannot receive an IV of sensation, nor can you buy, earn, find, or sell sensation, or that there is feeling. That there is feeling is unconditional and is the source of you and the intrinsic guidance that you have never and will never be without. As you relish in the presence of sensation, feel the relief. Express that in this recognition that you can't take sensation off like a coat or a pair of shoes, that you will never be without it, and can always focus on seeing, hearing, breathing, and feeling. You can always return to and feel contentment, the comforting of presence and the guidance of unconditional sensation going forward. As you feel contentment with this moment, as it is, without any conditional thoughts or expectations upon it, express hopefulness in knowing this going forward, and knowing that you can always go forward and return to contentment. Put how you feel first, well before focusing intently on any thought, belief, or interpretation. If a thought doesn't check out with feeling, if it doesn't resonate with this sensational guidance, willingly let it go, for it is guiding you to the very manifestations that you are desiring to do, be, have, create, and experience. It is within you, supporting you and guiding you. In your recognition of this presence and that you can always feel this contentment, express positive expectations, good feeling ideas, images, visions, and imaginings about what you desire to create and experience. Express the recognition that it does feel good to focus on what feels good to you. Express that you have experienced the momentum of creating emotion and that by focusing on thoughts that feel good to you, you are creating the momentum of good, of better and better and better feeling. Allow and express the deep intrinsic knowing that this creating and experiencing, this co-creating with the source within you, is what makes life worthwhile. Recognize the underlying intelligence and delightful feeling of focusing on what you desire to experience and on the thrill of co-creating, present in every moment. Express all arising thoughts of enthusiasm, eagerness, and happiness. Acknowledge the common sense of this in that you are a creator and creating is empowering and satisfying. Allow yourself to redefine what makes sense to be that which creates good feeling sensation within you. Recognize the subtlety of this guidance. Express your eternal truth that you are a creator by expressing your intrinsic passion for creating, for creation, and your appreciation for being a creator. Recognize your intrinsic camaraderie in terms of emotion and creating with all creators. Express wholeheartedly and unabashedly all which you desire to create and experience. Write it down, have it on hand, and return to it to rejuvenate, to replenish, to reground, and recenter in your being, in your recognizing of your own creatorship. Do not wait for greatness, simply be yourself, and yourself is revealed. Do not wait for awesomeness. Express the awesomeness that you already are, and your experience is instantly that of awesomeness. You are the bringer of fun and joy. Notice these are never found anywhere, but only arise and come from within you. Because truth, which is love, is unconditional, you can frame up thoughts and beliefs as conditions. You can listen to your intuition and sensation to sift and sort through what doesn't resonate with you, and you can focus on what does. There's no catch, by the way. Nobody's keeping track of your focusing. They have their own, so to speak. As you write down all that moves you, all that inspires you to create, and that you are inspired to experience, you will begin to recognize an unfolding of the realization of your deepest passion, your unique gift to realize, culminate, develop, and to share. You might even realize a few. Express appreciation for all that you have experienced, and for the profundity and joy of this co-creative experience, and for the excitement of what's to come and of what can be in co-creating with your source and with others in this place of togetherness. Feel and appreciate the absolute perfection of this. Everything you experience which you don't want reveals to you more of what you do want. Be swift in shifting focus to what you do want. As days pass, notice the role of momentum in this. Recognize when you are feeling this, you are feeling creator, creating, creation. Allow yourself to be effortlessly empowered by this feeling guidance within you and the knowing that you are creating the emotions that you are experiencing. Recognize the comfort, the home, if you will, in that you can always return to contentment by allowing the body to relax into gravity and the mind to settle peacefully as well. By letting conditions upon your own joy of creating and conditions upon your own true nature of happiness go, and feeling how hopefulness, enthusiasm, passion, and love always naturally arise of their own accord whenever you do. Thank you for watching, and once again, feel free to check out the tools at actualityofbeing.com for more information about this topic. And if you liked this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and to share this information with anyone who comes to mind.